was a study today that I want to tell you about because I thought you'd think this was interesting. It's the most and least educated states in America.
Oh, no.
Okay. Now, I thought this was interesting because I was pretty sure what I was going to find on the low end, like on the lowest.
The Carolinas.
Yes.
It's not low.
Specifically, South Carolina.
Not low.
South Carolina is in the bottom 10.
The bottom 10?
The bottom 10.
Along with Mississippi.
Yep.
Arkansas.
Nope.
It's spelled Arkansas, just in case you don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it is. It is there. Sorry, you are correct. It's there. Uh-huh.
As long as you're looking for Arkansas, then you're looking for something spelled Arkansas.
Now it explains why New York ended up in the middle.
Florida.
Nope, not bottom 10.
What is the bottom 10 then?
Okay, bottom 10, West Virginia.
Oh,
Mississippi. Yeah. Mississippi, like you said. Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky. Oklahoma.
Tennessee.
Nevada, South Carolina, and New Mexico.
Oh, really? Where's North Carolina?
Tennessee's bottom 11. Like if it went to 11, Tennessee's number 11. Interestingly enough, North Carolina is number 32 on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And just before you ask, there are 50 states. Let's see, New York was number 15, which is kind of surprising because I would think with all of our big universities here, it'd be higher. But think about, okay, so here's how they gauged it. They gauged it by where the top universities were, the top K through 12, how those schools do, how the kids do on their testing, that kind of thing. During COVID, schools that stayed open, how they were able to stay open, funding. They looked at all this kind of stuff. They looked at, what was the other one I thought was interesting? Public funding for higher education, how competitive the state is. Could they withstand economic shock because of education? So number one on the list, not surprisingly, was Massachusetts.
Okay.
Maryland is number 2.
Huh.
Connecticut number 3. Vermont number 4. Colorado number 5. Virginia number 6. New Jersey number 7. But, they do have Princeton, and they have Princeton, they have Yale, they have some good schools.
So how can you have Virginia and West Virginia at the top and the bottom? That's strange.
They're two different states. South Carolina. That's why they're two different states.
No, there's Virginia and West Virginia. That means it's the western part of Virginia.
Okay, North Dakota and South Dakota?
It's the South Dakota and the North Dakota. I get that. But I'm saying Virginia and West Virginia are right next to each other. How can they be
North Carolina, South Carolina?
different states?
That's my point. West Virginia and Virginia are two different states.
They got the same name.
Okay, so do North Carolina, South Carolina, and North Dakota, South Dakota. Which is weird when you think about it. Why would we do that?
Right, just be Dakota or
The
Carolina.
Dakotas, the Carolinas.
Right.
The Virginias.
So that would bring Virginia's and West Virginia up to like the top 20.
Right, it would, but it isn't. So Virginia's number 6, and West Virginia is down low. Number 7, New Jersey. Number 8, New Hampshire. Number 9, Minnesota. Number 10, Washington State.
Minnesota's up there.
Yep, Minnesota's. They have good schools up there. They have great schools in Minnesota. And the thing is, they also have really good K through 12 schools in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, South Carolina, not so much. North Carolina, the schools are a little bit better.
I think a lot of it is also how many kids stay in school versus how many kids leave school to go work, which I think happens a lot. Which I don't think it should be judged for that, because there's a lot of people like, okay, there's this guy in my school, my high school. He left in I want to say 9th grade. I don't even think he made it to 9th, maybe 9th or 10th grade. He went to work for his father's company. He now owns his father's company, and he is worth more money than everybody who graduated top of our class and went to Harvard, Yale, Princeton. This guy's worth millions of dollars, and he has a 10th grade education.
That doesn't happen very often. That's few and far between.
Right, that's true. But then there's people that don't belong. And so I have another friend that left school and became a mechanic, and he's a really good mechanic and is a really successful mechanic. It's why did he need to go to to school in college when he just wanted to go to a trade school and become a mechanic. And that's what he does. And he's really good at it.
And that's why at my son's high school, they had this place that was a separate school and it had different classrooms. So you could go into one classroom and learn plumbing, go into another classroom and learn electrical, go in one
like BOCES, yeah.
And learn how to do hair. So that was a perfect place to go because I've always said, be a plumber. People need plumbers. People need electricians, and
right.
they charge so much money. I mean, an electrician, I needed one a couple of weeks ago. Give me $100 before I do anything.
Yeah, we had the same thing. And when I was growing up, they would call BOCES in New York, which is Board of Cooperative Education Services. And it's exactly what you're talking about. The BOCES kids, they would literally come get them on like a smaller bus and they would take them somewhere else. But those are the kids that all learned, like while we were wasting our time learning BS in some stupid social studies class, they were learning skills and trades and things that they are now doing that they're way more successful. I mean, once you become a plumber, you have power. You don't have to wait for somebody to hire you. You don't have to wait for a company to hire you. You are a plumber.
You're not getting outsourced either.
Right. You're not getting outsourced, and you're not getting you don't have a boss. You're your own boss if you want that. You have that option.
And you're COVID proof.
Right. And you're COVID proof because people always need plumbers. So, I mean, I think that they should offer that education to everybody. That should be just part of regular education.
But I think in South Carolina, if you took Myrtle Beach out of the equation, I think South Carolina would be top 10. I think it's Myrtle Beach that drags us down.
What schools you got there that are so
at
good?
Myrtle Beach?
No, what's in University of South Carolina, obviously.
Clemson.
Oh, Clemson, right.
So
that's a great school.
That's the two big ones.
Right.
And then North Carolina, we have Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest. See, Duke, Wake Forest, that brings North Carolina up.
Well, that's why they're higher. Yeah, that's why they're higher on the list.
Because North Carolina has Charlotte and Raleigh.
Right.
South Carolina just has Columbia, Rock Hill, and Myrtle Beach. Got to take Myrtle Beach out of the equation. We'd be top 10 without them. They really bring us down. I mean, if you go to Myrtle Beach, you see it. That's why we're in the bottom right there.
That drunk guy over there.
This is the reason.
He's the reason. Yeah, exactly. That idiot.